in Tampa, hey, that's a bass guitar. Is that yours?
Yeah.
You know how to play it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, if not, I'll give you some lessons. I'll help you out. Thank you guys for coming out here. You know, when we talked about putting together a rally just the night before the election and doing this late at night, I think all of us said, nobody will come out there at Tampa, at the airport, at 9 o'clock at night. I underestimated the wonderful people of Florida. And I want you to know, I think the country is underestimating the people of Florida. We have had an incredible time over the last several days. And by the way, despite what people think, we never pulled out of Florida. We had a brief little sachet into Nashville today to do a little very necessary fundraiser. We started the day in Pensacola and packed out the Fish House. It was really an amazing turnout. We had a very enthusiastic group of folks. As we prepare to just put it all together tomorrow, I want to express my deep thanks to every single one of you. Many of you have made literally hundreds of phone calls. I mean, your fingers have new calluses now just from punching in the numbers. Some of you, your ears are still ringing from all those calls you've made. And I know many of you have talked to your neighbors and your friends, whether it's at church or at school, at work, in the neighborhood. Many of you have knocked on doors. You've done everything that you know to do. And you know what? You have prayed and you have believed. And I believe that the people of Florida have just been incredible for us. And I want to express my heartfelt thanks for the extraordinary way in which you have given us your time and your energy. And I know that a lot of other campaigns have outspent us dramatically here. That's been true every place we've been. It was true in Iowa. It was true in New Hampshire. It was true in Michigan. It was true in South Carolina. And by the way, it'll probably be true in Georgia and Alabama and in Tennessee and in Missouri and Arkansas and Oklahoma and everywhere else. But you know what we're proving? We're proving that the people of America still believe that the presidency belongs to them. I know this is going to sound hard to believe, but I've actually had a great time. And people say, you don't look like you're tired. Well, I'm faking it, okay? I get energized when I come to be with the people that are working so hard. And I feel like that many of you are working harder than me. I'm struggling to keep up with some of you. But it's been because I think we share some deep conviction that this country is worth our effort. It's worth it because most of us realize how blessed we are to be in the United States of America, how blessed we are to raise our children here, how blessed we are to be in a country where we can worship and nobody will arrest us for it, where we can hold up a sign for a guy who's running for president and nobody will put you in jail over it. Now, if you're holding up a sign for one of the others, we're going to put you in jail. But sometimes we take for granted the simplest freedoms, the things that really do matter the most to us. We take for granted that no matter what your job is, your kids can grow up and do something different. They don't have to do just what you do. We take for granted that you can choose what you want to believe, and nobody will put you in jail over it or run you out of town over it. And this is a special gift that we have that goes all the way back to the beginning when our founding fathers had a dream of a different kind of country than had ever existed before. And they dreamed of a people who, by their birth in this nation, would be people who would be deemed free and people who would be deemed as having value and worth. Not because of who they were, not because of their last name, not because of their ancestry, not because of the jobs they held in the community, not because of who they were related to or how important their position was, but that their value and their worth would come from God. And they would put it in these words, that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights among these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And here we are, these over 200 years later, and we're still enjoying the benefits of what those 56 brave men did when they signed their names to that document, knowing full well that if this experiment in government didn't work out very well, it wasn't just their taxes would be going up, they would die for it. They knew that. They would die for what they just did by signing their names to that document that said, we're breaking free. And nobody thought they could win that war. They were going up against the most amazingly well-equipped, well-trained, well-financed army in the world. Thousands of those guys with the nice red coats. Here they come. They had a great old big navy, lots of ships, all kinds of guns and ammunition. What did our guys have? They were a bunch of farmers with some hunting rifles. And their entire navy consisted essentially of a rowboat with a makeshift cannon that almost sunk the little boat because it was as heavy as the boat. They went out and defeated a British Navy with that little rowboat. When you read about our history, people can be cynical all they want to, but there's only one explanation for how it could possibly come about that ragtag army of farmers were able to defeat this overwhelming force of the British Army and to give us our freedom, and that was that the hand of a providential God was at work in making sure that the